Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we are here for round number 6 of the co-op career mode here, McLaren versus Ferrari, the battle of the Toms. And here for the Belgian Grand Prix today, we are trying to close back on Tom in the championship and also on Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship here. And without any further ado, let's jump straight into qualifying here for the Belgian Grand Prix. And here we are then for qualifying as we select the soft compound tyre to start our lap here. Just waiting for the clock to tick down before Tom also readies up for the session. Here we go now. 2, 1, and there we go. Off, down on the run to turn 1, heavy braking zone. And very important to get a good line through that corner to propel you onto the run down to Eau Rouge. And sling yourself all the way up onto the straight here as we go through Eau Rouge perfectly, I would say, and going onto the back straight with the DRS now. We are going and propelling down the straight, although with our heavily reduced engine that we have this weekend, yeah, it has made it a little bit more of a task and has made us a little more handicapped than we would have been had we have had a new engine, because I did actually try to do that before this weekend, but due to restarts, for the race, we decided to have a restart and it completely wiped my engine and component change, so as a result I am stuck with my terrible engine. So yeah, that's not the best, but anyway, moving forward here as we come out of the end of the second sector now, trying to gain as many positions as possible, but as you can see there, we're more of a lawnmower than a Formula 1 car currently, with our front right tyre on the grass. But yeah, heading towards the bus stop chicane, important to get this part of the lap right as it can gain you a lot of time on the run up to the line, but we have a kick of oversteer and we are way behind our competitors with a very uncompetitive lap time there. And as you can see, our teammate Lando Norris starts in P6, Tom in P7 just behind him, but ourselves in P13, a whopping 1.6 off our teammate and 1.4 off of Tom.
It's time.
Here we are then on the grid for the Belgian Grand Prix, and as you can see, I've actually decided to have a cheeky strategy change here, starting on the medium compound tyres and making our way onto the softs later on in the Grand Prix. A strategy that I feel like a lot of people around us will not make, and they haven't. They're all on softs, 5 lights, and away we go here. Getting a good start off our medium compound tyres in comparison, not losing too much ground in comparison to what I thought we would have. But a wild Williams diving up the inside, that's George Russell there, and we've gained some places off the start. But George Russell, what a start he's made, and he's looking to go up the inside of Alonso here up Eau Rouge, but he cannot do so, and we take full advantage going up the inside of Russell, but he has good straight line speed and maintains it onto the straight here. But with our ERS and the slipstream from that Alpine in the terms of Fernando Alonso, we get past and we send it straight up the inside of Alonso also. Now up into P10, a very bold move at the start of the Grand Prix, taking no prisoners to try and close the gap. And we don't just stop there, as we are gaining all the time on the green Aston Martin of Sebastian Vettel ahead of us. And we have made a very good start to this Grand Prix, especially considering that the engine we have is a lot weaker than all of the cars around us and a lot slower, and not also mentioning the fact that we are on slower tyres at this point in the Grand Prix. So what a start it has been from us. On the run up to the bus stop chicane now, we actually run a little bit deep and cut the corner going onto the start finish straight, which actually hinders us and puts us further behind Sebastian Vettel than we would have wanted to be. As we go on the run out of turn 1 now, always feeling like the traction that I get versus the AI is quite dramatically worse. But here you can see we cut to later in the lap and we make an inspired move around the outside of Sebastian Vettel. What a move that is to propel us up to P9 in this Grand Prix, past Sebastian Vettel, and right up behind now Yuki Tsunoda and Lewis Hamilton, who are fighting, and I believe Hamilton has an issue in this Grand Prix to be so far down. But with the switchback move, Foxy Dude 98, Tom inspired, we send it up the inside of Hamilton and dive on Tsunoda as well. 2 passes within a matter of seconds as we skip to lap 4 now, and we've dropped Lewis Hamilton, but Yuki Tsunoda says no, I will not be dropped, and he re-overtakes us here with DRS straight round the outside, reclaiming P7, and there is nothing that we can do at this moment in time. As you can see, skipping on to lap number 5, it is our pit window, and Yuki Tsunoda has a lot more pace over us as we struggle to stay in DRS. But here we go now, cutting to the end of the lap, coming on to lap number 6, and we have come in for our pit stop here. But crucially, if you did see at the top, our teammate Lando Norris has decided to come in also, so he will most likely be held, and he is actually held there. So Lando Norris, who's had a terrible race so far, has just made his race even worse by the looks of things.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres.
Well, here we are then, coming out of the pit lane and rejoining the circuit in P16 currently, as we are the only one to have stopped, as we cut to the lap later on lap number 8, and you can see all of the cars coming into the pit lane, and we have been propelled back up to P7. As you can see, Yuki Tsunoda stayed out for too long on his soft compound tyres, and it really hindered him as he dropped away behind us here. But skipping on to lap number 9, as you can see, pushing so hard to catch the group ahead of us, we've actually gone and spun, and we've ruined our race. What is it in this series with us making stupid mistakes, costing us pivotal points positions? And that is us done in the championship, surely, for this race at least. As you can see, trying to maintain a point, but losing all tyre temperature, and we lose the rears straight into the wall, and our race is over. Once again, we have absolutely bottled it in a Grand Prix this season. And there we are, Protominator 4 retired from the Grand Prix. I am not surprised with driving like that. So now, for the last 2 laps of the Belgian Grand Prix, we will in fact be monitoring the process of the Grand Prix, and we will be on board with Tom. And that is because, if you haven't noticed, he is in a very intense battle for the Grand Prix victory with Max Verstappen. As you can see on your screen, Max Verstappen hounding Tom all the time, keeping him under solid pressure. And as you can see there, the gap is very, very small indeed. And Tom looks like at this current moment in the Grand Prix, he does not have the pace in that Ferrari to maintain a gap to Verstappen. As you can see through that middle sector where the AI are stupidly fast in comparison to the actual player, Verstappen getting really close here, and he will have a very, very good shot onto the straight with DRS. Surely he is all over the back of Tom now, heading to the bus stop chicane. Will he be able to send a cheeky dive perhaps? Here we go, Max Verstappen. Nope, he does not fancy the dive here. Will he make a claim for P1 going into turn 1? As you can see, Max Verstappen picking up the DRS. Here we go, Max Verstappen. Nope, he decides to sit behind again. But cheeky from Tom there, as Tom actually decides to let Verstappen through so that he has DRS himself going onto the straight here. Here we go, on the run down and up through Eau Rouge. And here we go. I will do Crofty commentary. But here comes Sebastian Vettel as he comes to the inside of Max Verstappen. And I cannot believe it. And providing Tom is able to hold on throughout the middle sector of this lap, I actually think he has this Grand Prix victory sewn up here for his second of the series and be way out in front ahead of us. As you can see, Max Verstappen is not able to keep up with Tom now, and I think this is Tom's Grand Prix. Although saying that, the AI always gaining lots of time through Pouon, and you can see there Max Verstappen from being nowhere is right on Tom's tail again here, heading through the last cluster of corners now. Max Verstappen looks like he's dropped back a little bit again here, and all Tom has to do now is negotiate the bus stop chicane, and he has his second win of the series. Here we go now on the run through, and it looks like Tom has enough here. The gap to Verstappen looks too large to make a last minute dive up the inside here, and yes it is. Tom is about to win the Belgian Grand Prix. Here we go across the line.
Fantastic performance from Ferrari. It hardly looked in doubt. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
And here we are then to the final race results here, with Tom getting the win and the fastest lap, for which I believe to be the 4th consecutive race. So he is in a fine run of form at the moment. And as you can see, his teammate Charles Leclerc P4, which is also very impressive. My teammate Lando Norris picking up P8, and ourselves picking up plumb last P20. And yeah, I honestly think if we didn't make that mistake, we could have been on for a top 4 finish with Leclerc, Bottas and I believe Gasly not too far in front of us. But mistakes are costing us in this series, and the bad luck that we seem to be having, and it's just really, really bad.
Bad luck out there today. Let's talk about it. Your teammate beat you today. Was it a setup issue or something else? Your teammate seems to be having a hard time pushing past the competition this season, don't they? Great. Well, that's everything.
So here we are back in the hub trying to do some upgrades, and we actually have a good amount of upgrades that have come onto the car just now. As you see, one on the aero and the chassis have come through, and the piston upgrade as well, so improving all of the departments here on the McLaren.
They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
As you would have been able to see on your screen, we are looking at potential upgrades to make on our McLaren, and I think we finally found the possibility of a diffuser redesign layout, and we actually go and take it here, spending lots of our resource points, but a major upgrade, doing a full Brawn GP from 2009 with our diffuser. And yeah, hopefully that will give us an increased pace advantage for the coming Grand Prix, as you can see, making a durability upgrade. And yeah, that takes us on to the Italian Grand Prix for next episode, guys. So if you did enjoy the episode, please make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and let me know what you thought of this episode. Once again, I have to say a massive thank you to Tom. I will leave his link in the description as always. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Take care, stay safe, see ya.